unholy metal mafia. This is Hellbutcher. Check this interview or die.
We have a little questions for this meeting about Niflheim, Hellbutcher, and your vision about metal in general.
No problem.
Okay? First, a brief update of you. So, what are you currently working on with your active bands like Hellbutcher, Dead Cosmonaut, and Friends of Hell?
Yeah, it's actually quite busy. We are in the process of recording a new album with the Dead Cosmonaut, and it's the same guitarist as in Hellbutcher, Fredrik, the Iron Beast guy. He's also in Dead Cosmonaut. So yeah, we have been recording. It's all, I don't know how many songs there is, like 10 songs or so, but we're gonna use maybe 7 for the album, and the rest will be saved for later. So it's all recorded except for the vocals and some guitar lines. So it's quite like almost finished. And then I have a studio session booked in October in Cyprus with the Friends of Hell. We're gonna do a mini album or a maxi, like 3 songs, and I don't know how much I should say because I don't know if it's
obviously.
And of course, we have also started to write new songs for an upcoming Hellbutcher album.
Could you say that Hellbutcher, the band, will carry on the Niflheim's legacy?
Well, yeah, in a way, because I was one of the founders of Niflheim, and during the past 30 years or so, we have always tried to deal with different we have had some difficulties with agreeing so to speak. But now it's like totally fucked up, and so the thing is that with the Hellbutcher, I just want to do exactly the thing I've always wanted to do, so in one way it's a legacy of Niflheim, but it's not Niflheim at the other way. I'm not thinking of it as Niflheim at all. It's just like my kind of music that I want to do, and I will continue doing that even if Niflheim is not playing anymore.
We understand the difference, but for the new Hellbutcher fans, in your opinion, what are the major differences between Niflheim and Hellbutcher?
To me, it's hard to say because I'm like too much involved in both bands. So
no.
Is it like when I do a song, in the thrash speed black metal song, it ends up. It could have been songs for a Niflheim album, or it could be for a Hellbutcher album. To me, it's not a big difference. But I would say that if I'm trying to, analyze it a bit, it's probably a little bit more heavy metal touch to this. Like more influenced by even more old school than Niflheim. I like pure, like proper real metal, great chorus and like guitar solos and all that stuff that's missing in the black metal scene nowadays, if you ask me.
What's coming up in the near future for Hellbutcher? New album, live shows?
Yeah, we have a lot of shows coming up, and that's what we're trying to focus on right now. Doing some gigs and build up, a little bit of trying to get some, things rolling. It's always a start process of, when you have a new band, you have to find like some crew, that helps out, and all this stage show. I want to expand and make a greater show than I've ever had, of course. And that's what I'm focusing on right now. But we are also already in the process of making new songs for another album, because I don't want to have an album out every 5th or 10th year. It must be way more rapid. It's like once a year. It's my aim, but you never know it's possible. But that's what I'm trying to achieve, at least.
Perfect. And obviously, question: are you planning any tours in South America with Hellbutcher? Chile, especially.
Yeah. Well, I would love to come to South America and Chile. At the moment, we have had a little bit of problems with what could you say? The other guys are playing in other bands. The schedule hasn't been really up to be able to South America and Chile yet, but we're coming. Sure.
Do you have any connection with Chile beyond having played with Felipe Savage Aggressor?
Well, not so much. I like a lot of Chilean bands, of course, but and also the guys that I met when I've been in Chile and played, but I don't have much contacts in Chile personally, unfortunately. But
okay,
we'll see the future.
Perfect. I understand. Do you listen any band from Chile? You know about that, the metal scene in Chile?
Yeah, sure. I mean, long time ago, I was listening to Death Yell and Pentagram.
Old school.
Yeah.
Old school.
This is the bands I was listening to, like, I don't know, 30 years ago or so.
Perfect.
And Atomic Aggressor, all those bands.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I have some, like newer bands as well that I picked up on the road. So Chile seems to have a great metal scene.
How do you meet with Felipe, with Savage Aggressor, and how did he end playing with you on Niflheim?
Good question. He lived in Stockholm, where my brother lived, and we had some common bands that we really liked, like the Swedish band called Mercy, doom metal band, and some others. When we needed a new guitarist, we chose him to be the guitarist in the band, and yeah, it was good.
You have some memories about you and Felipe backstage, now on the stage.
Well, I have some memories, but I don't know if they were good to talk about.
Perfect. What music have you been listening to lately? Could you recommend some bands to us?
You mean Swedish or whatever bands?
Whatever. Metal or not metal?
Yeah, well, I would recommend Iron Maiden. No, but like Bombardier, the band I have my shirt here today, they made a new album. It's very, very good, actually. I think that's a total. I can recommend their latest album, but I think it's released I think it's released on Grom Records in Serbia. So I don't know how the distribution is in South America, but if you can pick it up, you
okay. What is your vision about metal between old school and now?
The vision between old school and now, I don't know. I am living in the past, kind of. Well, I don't really know what to say about it. The old, I mean, I'm totally influenced by old stuff, and I think that a lot of new stuff is not really interesting to me. So what can I say? Yeah,
but it's a big difference that you are living on the past. You are maintaining living the old scene to this time.
Yeah. Well, yes, kind of. Well, yeah, it's like to me, I mean, I never stopped, or some bands they made a demo in, let's say, 1990 or something, and then quit and then come back, and but I never stopped playing music or changing my ways in any way. So in one way, it's like kind of natural that I preserve the old style. I mean, most other bands from the days when Niflheim started or whatever,
but
they have like changed a lot. But I see no. I haven't changed much music in my musical, taste or ideas and stuff like that. So I'm kind of the same person as I was in the late 80s or early 90s. Or
what your first experience with metal?
My first experience with metal was like well, I was quite young, and I mean, in the 80s, early 80s, it was heavy metal was still a big thing, at least in Europe, and so it wasn't that special to get into those bands like Accept, Iron Maiden, Wasp, all those bands that were around. I had some EPs and some albums before that when I was really, really young. That was getting to me. Was more like of rock, progressive rock kind of stuff from Sweden, which is kind of unknown in South America. I'm pretty sure about it, but they had like heavy riffs, a little bit kind of Black Sabbath with the Swedish vocals or whatever. That was probably the absolutely first thing that got me interested in music at all. But then when I heard Iron Maiden from the first time, it was like game changer as well, of course.
What's your first album listen of Iron Maiden?
Peace of Mind was the first album I bought.
It was your favorite?
Great. My favorite, yeah. Well, it's really
it's
hard.
It's hard decision.
Yeah. I was listening to Senjutsu the other day, and then I thought, like, this must be the best one. So I don't know. When I listen to an album, I always think this is obviously the best album. So it changes all the time.
Yes.
It's the one that I'm listening to at the moment. This is my favorite.
Okay. Somewhere in Time for me. Somewhere in Time.
Yeah. It's also absolutely great.
This tour is fucking crazy.
About your collection, what is your favorite or more precious album that you have?
Yeah, well, I have a lot of Maiden stuff, but it would be some. I have some a gold disc award from Sweden that is very rare. It's the Somewhere Back in Time album, but it's on a like a vinyl LP gold disc, which they were mostly like presented with a CD, gold CD, as it was in 2008. But in Sweden they made a gold disc like vinyl, which is pretty cool if you ask me. This one I've got one of my favorite items in the collection, but I have a lot of records, so it's very hard to say. I've got all this classic stuff that everyone wants, like old Mayhem records and Bathory, all this kind of stuff as well, which is of course nice to have.
Cool.
Yeah, and also some South American rare stuff like the Astaroth from Colombia, the EP, and the Atomic Aggressor, and
great.
Some old, I can't remember exactly, like Pentagram, of course, and the Death Yell EP as well. So I don't know how old it is, but, with the green cover, I remember it. Nice stuff.
Great, thank you, Hellbutcher. It's a big honor. Thanks.
Big honor for me as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
strike.